What is biology? Like I said, biology is a very important course and it is very unique. It has more prospects to anyone that wishes to go in study such subjects. And now we're going to talk about what biology is, the branches of biology, the prospects of biology, the application, living thing, and some other things. You enjoy the class, just let's go on. Now, what is biology? Study of life. That is, biology studies living thing, both plants and animal, and non-living thing. That is what our biology is. And now we are moving to branches of biology. So the first one is zoology. What is zoology? Zoology is the study of animals. So anyone that wishes to study animals, we call them zoologists. So it's the branch of biology which deals with the studies of animals. All these are either goat, sheep, ruminant animal, non-ruminant animal, monogastric animal. The monogastric animals, these are the animals with one single stomach compartment. That is monogastric animal, they have a simple stomach. One example is our domestic fowl. While the ruminant animals, they are the animals that chew the cud, and the stomach is divided into 4 compartments, which are the rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. So the branch of biology that deals with the studies of animals is zoology. Another branch of biology is botany. Botany is the study of plants. I repeat, botany is the study of plants. So anybody that wants to study plants, we call them botanists. That is, those that study plants. Another branch of biology is ecology. Ecology is the studies of animal in relation to its environment. Ecology is the study of animal in relation to the environment. And some people that study ecology, they are referred to as the ecologists. So these are people that study animal behavior, animal physiology, and the way animal reacts in its immediate environment. So that is ecology. The next one is anatomy. Anatomy is the studies of the structure of anabolism. Anatomy studies the structure of anabolism. That is the skeletal system of the muscle, the framework that makes up organism. That is anatomy. So anatomy studies the structure, that is the shape of the head, the skeletal system, the muscle. That is the work of the anatomy. And the next one is physiology. Another branch of biology is physiology. Physiology studies how the structures in an organism functions. That is, physiology is the study of functions of an organism. Like I said earlier, anatomy studies structure, while physiology studies how the structures functions. Like for example now, an anatomist can study the shape of the head, the skeletal systems, but a physiologist will study how the blood flows, how the hands moves, how the leg works. So anatomy, that studies the structure, while physiology studies the functions of various body parts. So another point is genetics. Genetics is a branch of biology that studies hereditary and variation. Genetics is a branch of biology that studies hereditary and variation. What is hereditary? Hereditary, these are materials that is being transferred from parents to offspring. So some of these material, we call them traits or character. Like for example, the skin color, the shape of hair, the color of their skin, the color of hair, and different body parts. So genetics studies hereditary and variation. And what is variation? Variation is the differences that exist between members of the same family. So when you talk about variation, it's like what distinguishes Mr. A from Mr. B. So it may be possible for a family to give birth to twins, and the twins they might not behave in the same way. That is talking about variation. Tiger can be coward, while Tiger can be very brave. Tiger can be intelligent, while Tiger can be stupid. Tiger can be caring, while Tiger can be uncaring. So the studies of the differences that exist in a particular population is variation. While genetics studies everything. That is the studies of hereditary and variation. The next we are going to talk about is science and the usefulness of science. What is science? Science is the process of making inquiry about living and non-living things. Science is the process of making inquiry about living and non-living things. That is, science answers why this particular organism is living, why this animal moves like this, why this animal hibernates, why does some animal go under torpor, why does animal have to adjust to a particular environment, and the type of movement that is found in some plants and some animals. Like there are some plants that feed on insects. We call this plant insectivorous plants. So science deals with making inquiry, observing and deducing hypotheses about events that occurs in life. So now we're going to talk about the usefulness of science. Science is very useful in human endeavor. So the first point I'm going to talk about is in medicine. Science is useful in medicine, in the production of drugs. Like many of you, we want to become a medical doctor. Many of you want to study physiology, you want to become an anatomist, radiotherapy. So science is very important in medicine, in the production of drug and the cardiac surgery, even in cream production. So science is very important in getting drugs. Science is very important in medicine. Through the knowledge of science in medicine, giving birth was made easy, and this has brought about increase in life expectancy. You know, in the early days when we're using traditional means of giving birth, there are a lot of death and casualty. But through the knowledge of science, there are new drug, new innovation, new technology, which has aided the application of science on human beings, and this has drastically reduced the death rate, and the life expectancy has also increased. Science has also helped in the production of drugs and also in artificial insemination and in surgery, which is very important to human sustenance. Another point is in industry. In industry, science is very important in industry, like in textile industry. Through the knowledge of science, we have machines that are able to produce clothes. Even in manufacturing industry, like where they are producing cars, through the knowledge of science, the car production was made easy. Getting different parts for the machine and other innovative ideas. Science is very important in industry to produce for production. In agriculture, the knowledge of science is useful in agriculture. What does that mean? This has helped in production, in crop production, and in getting new breed of crop, and in getting crops that are resistant to diseases. Like for example, in the olden days, we have this local cocoa, that is Tilbumo cacao, but through the knowledge of science, there are new hybrids that grow faster and give high productivities. So through the knowledge of science, there's productivity in agricultural production, and there's increase also in the rate of the output. So science helps in agriculture. At the same time, it also, in agriculture, we talk about crossbreeding. Talk about crossbreeding to get a better yield, either of animal or of plant. So it helps in crossbreeding to get a better yield and to get a good trait that are resistant to diseases and they give high yield, including fecundity. What does that mean? Fecundity is the ability of an animal to give rise to more offsprings. So through the knowledge of science, it has been made possible for animals to give rise to many offsprings, like pigs. So pigs give rise to many offspring that are more viable through the knowledge of agriculture, and also to produce high yield. There's what we call genetically modified food. Genetically modified food. This has been helped through the knowledge of science to produce some tomatoes, some crops that give high yield, which are very good for human consumption. Another importance is in engineering. In engineering, science has been useful in engineering, in making through road constructions, through construction of ship, boats, skyscrapers, which would have been made impossible without the knowledge of science. But through the advent of science using technology, it is possible to produce all these skyscrapers, tall buildings, roads, bridges, and also to construct buildings on water and even under the sea. So that has really helped in engineering and also in technology. Technology is the application of science to produce useful things. Science has been very useful in technology, and it has made life easier. Like, for example, through information communication technology, I'm talking about ICT. Through the knowledge of science, it is possible to get information at a very instant rate, at a very fast rate. So science has been very useful in technology, and also it is also useful in artificial intelligence. Under technology, that's what we call artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is useful in the construction of robots, which, like for example, during the coronavirus pandemic, we were made to understand that in Rwanda, they were able to get robots that transport goods, medicine to people. Without the knowledge of science, this would not be very difficult, but through the knowledge of science and artificial intelligence, those robots were being able to produce, to carry out those activities. And also, through the knowledge of technology, the drone technology is very useful. Through the knowledge of science, drone technology, even in agriculture, there are drones that people use even to get the area view of a particular land, and also to monitor animal movement and plant movement and plant processes on farm. This has been through the knowledge of technology, which is from the application of science. Another one is machine learning. There's what they call machine learning, deep learning. All these things, they help to develop algorithm, which is very useful in artificial intelligence. That is the development of robots using through mechatronic devices. So these are through the application of technology, even our mobile phone. You can see now you will be in your room and you call someone in America. All these things are being aided through technology, which is the major bedrock. Another application is communication. Another application of science is in communication. Communication is the process of transmitting information from one person to another or from one region to another. Through the knowledge of science, communication has been made easier using telephone wire, or through fax. It is easy to send message, it is easy to get message. Like many of us now, we get message on our phone using instant messaging devices like WhatsApp, like LinkedIn,
like ResearchGate, even through email. All these things were not possible some years ago, but through the advent of technology, which is the application of sciences, technology has been made easier. Now you can call someone even in the corner of your room. You can speak with anyone all over the world. Through technologies, this has brought a world to a system which is called global village. The world is now a global village. What does that mean? What I mean is that you can communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world, and you can get the best information, get the best idea, get the best material online. All these are through the application of science. As you can see, that science is very important in human endeavor. Living and non-living things. Living and non-living things. Like I said earlier, that biology studies life, that is, plant and animal, and living and non-living thing. So now we're going to talk about living and non-living thing. What is a living thing? A living thing is anything that has life in it. Living thing is anything that has life in it. And one example is man. Man is a living thing. Plant is also a living thing. Other examples are goats, dog, that is Canis domestica. We have lion, Panthera leo, and we also have some other animals. Birds, cats, fish, they are living things. And what is non-living things? Non-living things are things that has no life in them. Non-living things are things that has no life in them. What am I talking about? That anything that has no life in them, they are referred to as non-living things. And examples are air, water, stone. They are non-living things. Now we're going to talk about the characteristics of living things. Characteristics of living thing. Characteristics of living thing. The first one is movement or locomotion. Movement or locomotion. Movement is the process by which an organism moves from one place to another. It's also the same thing as locomotion. That is the process by which an organism moves from one place to another. All living things move. Human beings move. Animals move from one place to another. Though it is possible for plants not to move, but plants do bend. Plants can bend in a particular direction. It can bend towards the light. When a plant bends toward the direction of light, that one is called phototropism. Phototropism is the process in which a plant bends in the direction of light. So when also a plant moves in the direction of gravity, we call that one geotropism. Geotropism is the movement of plants in the direction of gravity. Also, when plants also move in the direction of water, where there is water, we call that one hydrotropism. So some plants move in the direction of water, that is called hydrotropism. While animals move from one place to another. So you can move from your house to another person's house. That is a characteristic of living thing. So it is possible for me to move from my house to Lagos, from Lagos to America. That is an example of living, a movement, a man. Another one is nutrition or feeding. Nutrition or feeding. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which living organism takes in nutrients. That is, by which living organism takes in nutrients. Like for example, animals are autotroph. What does that mean? Animals exhibit autotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, these are organisms that depend on other organisms for their food. Like human beings now, we depend on plants for food. We feed on other plants and animals. That's another mode of nutrition. And also, there's another one called autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. This is type of nutrition in which organism is able to produce its own food. Most plants, they are autotroph. They can produce their food through a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants manufacture their food, making use of chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight. That is the process by which green plants manufacture their food, making use of chlorophyll in the leaves of the plant in the presence of light. So light is very important for photosynthesis. And another name for light energy is called solar energy. So all organisms on earth need to feed. Human beings need to feed to carry out metabolic reaction. Also plants need to take nutrients. And under nutrition, human beings, animal stores starch as glycogen, while plants store it as starch. Under nutrition we have metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is a series of processes that takes place in human body. Our metabolism is divided into two. We have anabolism and catabolism. We have anabolism under nutrition. We have metabolism. And this is divided into two. We have anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism and catabolism. What is anabolism? Anabolism is the process of building up energy in human being. So when you eat, you are building up energy. Why catabolism? Catabolism is the process of breaking down energy. That is, this is the process of breaking down energy. That is like when you are using the energy you've already built. Like for example, as I'm talking, I'm breaking energy. When I'm walking, you are breaking energy. When you are reading, you are breaking energy. When you are doing any activities, you are breaking energy. But when you're taking food, that is anabolism. And one thing I want us to know that for anybody to grow, the rate of anabolism must be greater than catabolism. You are getting what I'm saying? For growth to occur in organism, the rate of anabolism must be greater than the rate of catabolism. That is, the rate you are building energy must be greater than the rate you are breaking that energy. That is when growth will occur. Why food is very important in living organism to sustain life. Another characteristic of living thing is excretion. Excretion. What is excretion? Excretion is the process of passing out waste products from the body. Excretion is the process of passing out waste products from the body. And one of the examples of the waste product is urine. We have sweat. So when we take in food, the good part of that food will be absorbed by the body. That is, digestion takes place in small intestine. Digestion of food takes place in small intestine. While the absorption of the nutrients in the food takes place through the villi. It takes place through the villi. That is, the villi is inside the small intestine. That is where the absorption of food takes place. So when you take in food, that is the process of digestion. But when the nutrient in the food is being absorbed by the body, that is through absorption. And the point of absorption is villi. So what I'm talking about is excretion. Why the waste products will go into the large intestine? Like for example, you pass urine, which is made up of urea and ammonia, that will pass through. That is what we pass out. And at the same time, we also sweat. So all these things, they are excretory products. Another point is irritability or sensitivity. Irritability is another characteristic of living thing. Animal or plant responds to external stimuli. So irritability is the ability of an organism to respond to external stimuli. So an animal can respond to external stimuli, while plants can respond to external stimuli. Like for example, as human beings, you and I, when the environment is too cold, you feel it in your body system. When the environment is too warm, you also feel it. That is irritability. Like when you touch some people, they will feel it. When you touch some animal, they will move in that direction. Some animals move in the direction of light. That is, like when you on your torch here, you discover that some animals, they will be moving towards that light. That is called irritability. That is the process by which an organism responds to internal and external stimuli. Another point is respiration. Respiration. Respiration is the process of breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. That is in man. Both plant and animal respire. Human being, most animals will need oxygen for respiration, and the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, that is what the plants use for its own growth. And most plants also give out oxygen. Plants give out oxygen which human beings use for respiration, and the carbon dioxide that we give out, plants also make use of it. That is why it is important for us to plant trees. You will discover that when you stay under a tree, there's a kind of what is called microclimate. The temperature will be quite different than even when you stay under air conditioning system. So that's the kind of the air that we get from plants. So respiration is the process by which an organism breathing. The process of breathing in is called inspiration. That's when you breathe in is called inspiration, and when you breathe out, that one is called expiration. When you breathe out, that one is called expiration. So respiration is very important, and in human being we use lungs to breathe. Like there are some, like fish use gills as a respiratory organ, while human being will use lung for respiration. And also there are some animal like toad. Toad has 3 organs for respiration. Toad can breathe through the body, that is through the body surfaces. It is possible for toads to breathe through the body surfaces using lungs, and at the same time, toad can also breathe using gills. So amphibian has that characteristics which is peculiar to them. That is, they can breathe either by lung, either by gills, or by skin surfaces. So every organism must respire for continuity of life.